Thank you for joining me today. This is Whitney with the Yoga Art Space Studio, and today's meditation is a meditation on the brain. We allow ourselves to imagine what might be happening during the disease process for the brain, especially in diseases where brain tissue is lost, like Alzheimer's. And after we've imagined this, we begin to imagine that we can reverse the process, and thus, in doing so, we stimulate neurogenesis, the development of new brain cells, just by this bringing of energy there, by this idea of imagining what may be going on. And so imagine a brain of a toddler. A toddler lives most of their life in a deep theta brainwave. And in this theta brainwave, there's not much judgment, but there's a lot of learning and absorbing the world around them so that they can begin to understand what life is like. And so through these first several years of life, even to 7 and 8 years old, in the theta brainwave there is constant growth of new brain connections. Thinking patterns start to be mimicked in others, from others, and seen in ourselves. And these habits begin to form the beginning of a lifetime. And so imagine all the brain connections, all these little lines of energy, electrical signals that travel all throughout the brain all the time. Some signals constantly are regulating the body, telling the heart to continually beat, telling the lungs to continually breathe, telling the rest of the body to keep on functioning, keep on repairing, keep on restoring. And imagine as we've gotten older and we've moved away from learning and creating new connections, and moved away from being in theta very often, which theta you can be in daily. In fact, you are in daily during sleep, but you can find it in deep meditation. But you've moved away from a lifestyle of meditating, and so you don't achieve theta, that deep place of growth, very often, that flow state. And so because of this, life becomes tedious, and life becomes repetitious. More or less every day and every week looks just like any other day and any other week. You wake up, you do the same kind of shower with the same kind of products, you go eat the same kind of breakfast you've had for years, you pack the same kind of lunch, you drive the same kind of car, go to the same kind of job, talk to the same kind of people, do the same kinds of activities. And in this process, the brain has stopped growing new connections. It's gotten to the point where these routines are what the body knows how to do really well. It's almost like lifting weights. It knows those weights so well. And in fact, most of the day, you don't even have to think about, because you've done it so many times before. And so the brain begins to step back, thinking, oh, I don't have to work quite so hard. And in stepping back, some of the brain connections begin to go away, not being used. And imagine this as one way in which Alzheimer's begins to appear. Some of the brain connections that haven't been used in so long, the very ends of those streams of connections, start to erode away, and little by little, more and more of the stream starts to erode. And so little by little, the personality that is you starts to be lost because the upstream is lost. Downstream on up. And so now imagine that you realize this is happening, that you realize why this is happening. And so, not in a desperate attempt, but in an inspiring decision, you begin to decide at some point in your life, no, I still want to learn. And so you begin to do new fearful things, new inspiring things, new exciting things that pop into your brain. You decide, yeah, I'm going to have a dance party right now. And so you flip on a catchy tune, and for that whole 3, 4, 5 minutes, you dance the whole time. And your body feels more alive than it's felt in a long time. And you continue through the rest of your day feeling a little bit more alive. And a little while later, you decide to take a yoga class. And at the end, after that restful Shavasana pose, you come up and you finish the class. And you feel like you're at home in your body. And you ask yourself, why did I ever leave? And going home later that day, you decide to try out a new recipe. You haven't cooked anything new in years. But you decide, I'd like to try this. And you look up a recipe and you try it out and you get to taste new things that you've never tasted before. And your day continues on and your weeks continue on, trying out new things, reading new books, seeking out new knowledge, asking new questions to those people in your lives. And you begin to form interactions with people, developing new friends. And you begin to learn new skills, and you begin to see new things, and smell new things, and experience new things. And all along, the brain is so excited of all this fresh life that's coming in. And constantly new brain connections are made as we begin to learn new skills and talk and speak and sing and dance in new ways. And the body and the brain is trying to keep up with all this newness, and it loves it, and it's being exercised like a muscle every day. And so little by little, new brain connections are formed, and the brain becomes stronger and thicker. And in this way, not only is your brain happy through the days of your life, but you realize you've lived your life. And that this is what life is all about. And naturally, by living, your brain is happy. And so imagine all the things that you continue to do to exercise the brain by giving it new thoughts, words, songs, experiences, tastes, textures, climates. Begin to experience all that your life still has in store for you. And with this type of neurogenesis to lead us into this marvelous day, we'll wrap up this meditation. Thank you for joining me. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.